Hey artists, we made it. It's the last part of our Color Monster project. So, last time we scribbled and we watercolor painted. So if you did not print out a template, take that scribbled watercolor paper and turn it over. I'll teach you how to draw the color monster. If this is a little hard, you could have a grown-up help you with these parts. Since you did all of the painting, it's still very much your artwork. So, you can start the color monster by making a really big square. On the top, you want to have two triangles that come up a little bit higher and then some smaller ones inside. And then you're going to just do the same zigzag triangle line on the bottom. Now, we also want to do some arms and feet. So on your other paper, you can draw those. Remember, you were supposed to do your color and your scribbles on two separate pieces of paper. That's so we could have our body and our arms. So the arms are a long curved rectangle with a little zigzag triangle fingers. And then the legs are going to be really similar, but the triangles are just going to face the other direction. So you can start with two long lines, connect some triangles, and then connect the top. If that was a little bit difficult, you could just start with a long rectangle and then just add the triangles next to it. Remember, we're going to cut these out, so it's okay if you have extra lines to help you draw it. So you should have a body like that, two arms, and two legs. And again, your color monster can look the way that you draw. It doesn't have to match mine perfectly. Now, take some scissors and cut this out. For some of my really young artists, you might need a grown-up to help you with this part. Now, the easiest way to cut is to separate the different parts that you want to cut out. So instead of trying to struggle with a really big piece of paper, you can separate some of those hands and the body so that you're not trying to cut them all out from the same piece. It makes it a lot easier. So try to follow those lines as best as you can with the scissor. Now when you're cutting zigzags, it's really hard to do what I just did where I cut around the whole thing. It's much easier to cut into each zigzag with a simple straight line. Okay, so if you cut it at both angles, the triangle piece is going to fall out. Now, the other thing to think about when you're cutting is to keep your cutting hand pretty still. So the hand that has the scissors isn't going to be moving all that much. The hand that's holding the paper is going to move a little bit more so that it's a lot easier to cut out your design. It's much easier when we're just making mostly straight cuts. Okay, I think you get the picture. You guys are smart artists. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. And sometimes some of that paper that we're cutting away is really pretty. You could save some of it and use it for collage by gluing it onto other pieces of paper and making something new. It's nice to recycle things. Okay, so now I have everything cut out. I have my one big color monster piece. I have two arms and I have two legs. So I'm just gonna kind of play around with those arms and legs and put them in the right spot. I'm doing something silly with my glue. I like using a brush and brushing it on if I don't have a glue stick. So if you have some glue or tape, you can go ahead and stick those arms and the legs on wherever you think looks the best. And remember, everything that I do in these videos, you can do the best that you can while being at home. So you're probably not going to paint your glue on with a paintbrush. You might have a glue stick, and that's fine. Or maybe you just have duct tape. It's okay, it's on the back. But you can use that. Or you can use clear plastic tape like what I'm using. It's kind of easy to use tape. Okay, now I have my color monster almost finished. So we're not finished all the way yet because the color monster doesn't have any eyes, and we can always do final details to make our drawing look really nice. So, as a finishing touch, it's an option that you can take a black crayon and add a little bit of an outline around your color monster. Again, it's an option. If you don't have a black crayon or you don't have enough time, you don't really have to do it, but it makes the color monster have a nice outline and makes them stand out a little bit more. So you can take that outline and go through the middle of your color monster too, like what I did. That's where his mouth's at. So you have two options for eyes. You could do an upside down U and make your color monster look sleepy or happy or peaceful. Or you could do a circle with another circle inside. Now, you can do it directly onto your color monster drawing, but if you do it on one of the scraps that you cut out, you can have white in the eyeball. So if you want to do one circle and one U, you can make your color monster look like he is blinking. So I'm going to take my other circle and trace it to make another that's the same size. And then I'm going to cut that out, and I'll glue both of them on to my color monster where I think his eyes are supposed to go. So we're almost finished. That color monster had the really bushy eyebrows. I'm going to make a shape that almost looks like a bird. And then I'm just going to put a zigzag going across his forehead for his eyebrows. He has really hairy eyebrows. Now I have to finish that outline, so I'm just going to finish drawing an outline around his body and his arms. The color monster is actually pretty hairy all over, so I need to add some more hair to him. I'm going to do that by making tiny lines that go around his body. There you go, Color Monster. You're all finished. You look beautiful. You're happy. You feel loved. You feel peaceful. And now you're ready to go to school. I bet your color monsters are really beautiful.